Welcome back to another episode of Bad Video Games. FlatOut 3 on the PC. I've never played any FlatOut games, so obviously this will be a first for me, and what a place to start, because apparently the games before this are supposed to be okay, I think. But this is supposed to be woeful. I remember 2011, I think this released. I remember seeing the reviews and people being very disappointed. Here are your game modes. It's already got that like murky mid-2000s or 2011 in this case, that kind of graphical style, which was also a thing with 360. A lot of games looked like this. I don't know if I'm explaining it well, what I mean in regards to the graphics, but yeah. Let's choose our car here. At some point I will stop playing in the video to give you some review scores or tell you about some of the reviews that this game had, because it's quite funny. Yeah, let me know if you've played any of the FlatOut games, guys, and let me know what the other ones are like that came before this. Exclusive to PC. And this looks like a game that should be on the Xbox 360, doesn't it? Anyway, here are the characters. Bob Earl Homer Deluxe, Katie Boxing Sale, Bob Slayer. I mean, look, what's going on here? I think you could already tell, if you don't know anything about the FlatOut series like me, I'm going to go with this Stig-looking person, driver. But yeah, if you know nothing about FlatOut, I'm assuming this is going to be an arcadey game from the characters there. I mean, it kind of goes without saying, it's called FlatOut. Okay. So, bear with me for the first, like, few minutes of this. Let's get used to this before jumping into the deep end and joining the hate army when it comes to FlatOut 3. This is terrible. Okay. I'm glitched. I'm stuck. Oh, what's going on here? Weird. Yeah, this is terrible. Straight away. Sometimes it takes me... Oh, what's going on with that car? Sometimes it takes me a good 5-10 minutes to sort of realise a game is pretty bad. I hate the handling of this car. It's supposed to be an arcade game. It feels like this car's floating around. Hey! Feels like it's floating. Doesn't even feel like you're on the floor. The physics are all over the place by the looks of things whenever you touch anything. This is atrocious. So I'm using the Xbox Series controller with Steam to play this because it's a racer. I never use keys with racers because, yeah, I like to have a stick. And I like the triggers because I can pretend they are accelerator or gas, the gas pedal, and the brake. But yeah, this is not very good. And the reason I did pick this up from Steam, I was going through the Steam library of oldish games like this, because I wanted to make a video for Generation 8 playlist that we've got going on the channel, where we look at games from previous gen. But this would have been old school, actually, thinking about it, because this is Xbox 360 and PS3 era. But anyway, I'm going way off subject here. I'm trying to concentrate as well. You know I'm not very good at doing 2 or 3 things at the same time. Yeah, going through the Steam library, and I saw this. It's like £5, I think. £6 I paid. It's terrible. But I thought at that price, it's worth a look. Because, like I say, I remember it getting really bad feedback or a really negative reception. I thought, okay, bad video games. We don't get enough PC games on there. It's always console. So let's look at a PC exclusive. I wonder why we didn't get this on console. Anyone know? And also, are the previous games to this on console? Because I don't remember... I don't recall seeing a FlatOut game on the PlayStation or the Xbox. It's just boring. It's not like... I know I've just said it's terrible. It's not bad per se, not so far. It's just really boring with like terrible crash physics and horrible graphics. I really don't like the graphics in this. I just don't like them at all. Let's try a different mode, guys. There was a Destruction Derby option or mode. Where is it? There you go, that's it. Deep in the valley. Should we go with the Moisella, the David Moisella? There you go, there's my football reference for today. If you have no idea what I'm on about, don't worry, it's a terrible joke. It's a really, really bad joke. Right, we're not going to be the Stig, we're going to be Zario the Mechanic. He looks like Ron Jeremy. It feels tacky, this game. It feels really... I'm assuming this was a full price, big budget game, was it? Like 30, 40 quid around release. Okay. I do like a bit of Destruction Derby. Obviously, Destruction Derby on PS1 was fantastic. Wreckfest, also a fantastic game. Oh, look at this. This car feels horrible as well. It's the handling. I just don't like it. It's hard to put my finger on why. It's just rough. All of this feels rough. It feels like it's not finished. It feels like it's in a beta build still or whatever. Look at this. Yeah, I'm already bored, and if you're spending 30 or 40 quid on a game, then you're not getting your money's worth when it's like this janky. It's really janky, really ugly. It's not the worst game we're featured on Bad Video Games, because that award still goes to Action 52. If you haven't seen that, actually it was a previous episode of Bad Video Games. Check it out on the NES. Absolutely woeful. I can't call it a game because it's a collection of 52 games, hence Action 52. And they're all terrible. So that's up there. That's like number one. Now this would be like middling, you know, around the middle. It's not the worst game I've ever played. But some people say it is one of the worst video games ever made. And we'll get to that in a bit. There's just no redeeming features here. I mean, why would you buy this? There is so many better games around at the time. It was a good time as well. 2011, 2012. Those years, I remember them fondly. We had so many good video games coming out on PC, PS3, 360. It was a good time. I've got good memories with that era. And yeah, this would have just been like a no from me. Look at this. The state on this game. Oh, he's still on the roof. There you go. He decides to get off. There was no one driving that car, apparently, even though I've had to choose a character or an avatar to drive my car, which is strange, to say the least. Oh, I'm bored. Let's try... There was a monster trucks mode, and like I want to try the speed mode as well. Let's do monster trucks first. We've got search and destroy or bring the light. Smash objects into each of the 5 fuel. Destroy 40 explosive barrels. We'll go with that one in the El Croco Cruncher. I don't want to be Ron Jeremy again. Let's be Hitman. Yeah, this is just... It's just crap. It's just crap, you know? It's like, if I was to review this, even though I've only played it for, what, 10 minutes or so? I don't know. But it's a, like, 5 out of 10 game, you know? Maybe a 6. What we'll try and do as well, or what I will try and do in this video is, there is a multiplayer tab. We'll check out the servers, see if they're still on. And we'll see if any players are still playing this game. Okay. Yeah, it's just boring. This is just boring. Anything I like about it? Let me think. No. Not really. I've played so many good arcade racers, hybrids, like Project Gotham Racing, or Simcades I like to call them. And then, like, the simulation type games, Gran Turismo, the Forzas. And you just don't need to play this. You just don't need to. It's actually quite offensive. It's terrible. There you go. I said it wasn't terrible. It is terrible, guys. Let's go with, where is it? I saw one called Top Speed or something like that. This is the one with the F1 car. Or it looks like an F1 car anyway. So I'm going to choose one with the highest speed. They've all got 5 out of 5 for speed because they're F1 cars. There you go. You must place first to win the race. Did you just see that in the tutorial there? Or in the hints and tips? You must come first to win the race. That's just insulting. Oh, God. These are supposed to be F1 cars with loads of downforce. It's drifting and sliding around like it's Bambi on ice. Good sense of speed in it, I'll give it that. It's got the Burnout about it in that regard, but Burnout is a superior game to this. Well, it depends which Burnout, but a lot of the games that I've played, Burnouts, yeah, far superior to this. Just forget about it. That's the thing. You've got the Need for Speed series. You've got Burnout series. Wasn't Paradise already out by now? Yes, it would have been. It would have been around for a few years by now. Just by that. Hey. It performs fine. I will say that. I'm not sure if it's 60 FPS. I should have turned the frame rate counter on, really. But it feels like it's 60 FPS, but I might be way off on that. I've got everything set to ultra as well. Usually for these videos, I set it to high. But I thought this game looks so ugly. Let's set it to ultra. And it still looks a bit rough to me. But we do have to consider it's, again, a 2011 release, so... Okay. Come on, let's try and win this race. Remember though, guys, to win the race, you must come first. It's the handling. I know I keep repeating myself. The handling on every vehicle so far has been atrocious. This doesn't feel like an F1 car. In a straight line, maybe. But as soon as you've got to hit the brakes or the steering wheel on these bends, it doesn't feel like an F1 car at all. Not that I've driven an F1 car, but I've played lots of the F1 games. It kind of feels like a game that would be marketed at 10-year-olds. And that's no disrespect to any 10-year-olds watching, because I was 10 once. I loved it, and I was playing loads of video games when I was 10. But it's got that feeling about it. It's sort of game you might see free on Steam these days. Big shout out to Free on Steam. That's another playlist I've got running where I look at free Steam games. This isn't free, this is a $5. But it's got that vibe about it. And like with the scantily clad characters to choose from, the quote unquote sexy women to choose from, like it's the kind of thing for like young lads, young horny lads to salivate over. Although I'm doing a disservice again to younger men and women here, because I wasn't like that when I was a kid. I just wanted a good video game. I didn't care about that kind of thing in my games. I'm rambling away because I'm bored. Simply put. This is just boring now. Is this supposed to be like a deserted racetrack? It's got the it's got the Last of Us's about it, isn't it? It's like the world has been, or the world has gone to crap basically, and all that's left is this racetrack and people zooming around on it. It's just weird. I'm not entirely sure what this game is trying to be at all. It's like a mishmash of loads of different styles, and that's its problem. Anyway, it's multiplayer time. Let's join a game. Whilst it's waiting for another player, I mean, we could be here until the year 2028 waiting for another player. But anyway, FlatOut 3, this is the wiki page for this game, by the way. FlatOut 3 is one of the 2 games Edge magazine has ever given a score of a 1 out of 10 in its history, the other game being Kabuki Warriors. Eurogamer also gave it a 1 out of 10 and criticised all aspects of the game, especially the controls, the AI. There you go. So other people don't like how this game handles, basically. And yeah, they just say it's crap. There's just ones, guys. 1 out of 10, 1 out of 10. GameSpot gave it a 5 out of 10. Game Master gave it a 1 out of 10. GameSpy gave it a 1 out of 5. Awful game. Let me know what you thought of FlatOut 3. I think I'm just going to uninstall this from Steam now. Yeah, I'll speak to you all soon, guys. Take care.